Hey, on my Travel Wins podcast tonight, I have Danny David. How are you doing tonight, Danny?
Doing very well. How are you?
Well, excellent. We'll start this real quick. Go Bucks.
OH.
Yeah, IO. Come on now.
There we go. Got Ohio State in the house. Always. I love it.
The Ohio State University.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
How you doing tonight, buddy? You doing good?
Good, man. Good. It's been a long, fun, productive day. Speaking of Ohio State, one of my clients and very good friends, Braxton Miller, brought Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher, to Ohio State, and they gave students a tour, spoke to students, and it was pretty neat. So
That's gotta be pretty powerful.
Yeah, it was when Braxton told me. He texted me and he goes, "Are you ready to talk to E.T. We're going to speak to the football team and some student athletes." And I was like, "You got to tell me in advance so I could make sure this is documented." but it was awesome. It turned out great. It's all over.
Cool.
Great for the university, great for both of them, and great for everyone.
Oh yeah. So you're the managing partner of a company called Fifth Down Marketing. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Quick background on where I all started, or you could have the combo. Yeah, so Fifth Down. Prior to that, I was with VaynerSports, and I was with Gary Vee on his personal team, and I was VaynerSports' first employee, and it was a great experience, and learned a lot from being there. And I'm happy to be able to just do my own thing and go in a direction that I've always wanted to do, passionately and personally.
Yeah, that's a good person to start with.
Oh yeah, amazing. I mean, there's no one better than digital marketing than Gary. And working on his team when I was first there, I mean, they're sensational, the best.
But and I know he's got offices around the country, and even internationally now, in London, I think.
Yes,
but
London, New York, LA, Chattanooga.
That's one I don't understand, but that's a whole different subject, I guess. I've been to Chattanooga, and I don't get that, but.
I'm an East Coaster. I feel they might have it there. I'm not going to, because, they see different trends in that area at different times with different brands.
Hey, don't get me wrong. Atlanta or Nashville, I understand. Chattanooga, something.
Hey, he's doing something right over there.
Yeah, exactly. He knows something I don't, that's for sure. But, so with the Fifth Down Marketing, what exactly do you do for I guess, your clients?
It's basically 24/7 management marketing boutique firm. So we do everything from running their day-to-day, 24/7. Like right now, for example, I'm finalizing the measurements for a client for New York Fashion Week, but I'm also making sure that, the housing is taken care of for the Super Bowl when they attend and they go down there. Getting them marketing deals, growing their brands on and off the field. The reason why I do this, to be honest, is I went to the Ohio State. I noticed there's so many student athletes who graduate who end up trying to go to the NFL. And I'm talking about Ohio State in particular, who do not capitalize or monetize that brand and they built from that university. It's 50,000 students. They're nationwide. They have huge audiences. And the NFL is 2.5-year lifespan, realistically. It's like, what are you going to do right after school? Whatever school you go to, are you going to develop relationships with that hometown of that university and go back there for appearances and, basically make money off the field and develop, generational wealth and income for your grandkids and great-grandkids? Because at the end of the day, like, you can make the NFL or any professional league, but odds of you being there for a while are not in your favor. But put that aside, like, you want your great-grandkids to – you don't know when your career's going to end in the NFL. You don't know if you're going to make it. You could be a top guy going to the draft and you could get an injury and, God forbid, what happens next. But if you're a figure and influential at wherever you come from, your hometown, your university, and you could be on that Mount Rushmore in 20 years, you'll always have the opportunity to, monetize and connect to your audience forever. And, that's big. That's big.
I think it's so interesting you were saying that. guest I just had on my show, I was talking about the exact same thing. As far as the percentage of how many players from college, even D1, actually get into the NFL, and then how long their career actually is. With the average being, I think, 30 months, something like that.
2.5 years, 30 months. But what's interesting is they're having these other leagues they're creating, like the Alliance, which is a new football league, which is pretty exciting. They have a bunch of really well-known and experienced coaches, professional athletes who aren't in the NFL. And it's airing February 9th, so that's exciting. But, at the end of the day, if you go to a school, USC, Texas, Rutgers, people in Rutgers, they all, you're at your peak moment, at that university in your, prime playing football in life. It could be potentially. You're a superstar everywhere, around there. Will that happen again? Who knows?
Probably not.
Next to Ezekiel Elliott or Mike Thomas. Who knows? But if you're not, make sure that, you're building your brand off the field and connecting to that audience that's going to love you on Twitter and Instagram, because these are individuals that will be there when you're not in the NFL.
Yeah.
That you should have relationships and have connections with.
That's so true and so strong. How much traveling are you doing for the digital marketing?
Well,
I like to laugh.
This is travel. So, I first started traveling back when I was in college, when I was working for Astor and Black and Bella Verde. It's a custom bespoke clothing company. So I was always traveling. I remember, I did Michael Vick's custom sweaters back in New Jersey when he was in the Eagles. And then, I planned the trips basically and booked, everything to maximize our trips. So if we were flying out to Tampa Bay when Darrelle Revis was there, make sure outside we do Darrelle Revis' clothing, we're going to meet some other potential athletes or individuals who can benefit from clothing. Because at the end of the day, there's 8 away games in the year. Every NFL athlete needs to wear a suit or dress up for those 8 away games. It's the rule of the NFL.
Yeah.
So you got to be prepared for it, and you want to feel good, you look good, you dress good. So I was traveling a lot then. Now I travel, I would say probably once every 3 weeks, once a month. It really just depends. I'm in Ohio a lot. I lived there for a while. I went to Ohio State. Second home to me. California I love. It's just, that's more of a trip. Wherever my clients are. My clients are in Canada. Wherever they need me to be, that's where I'm going to travel.
On the same boat. I mean, I have my one major account. When they open up a new store, I have to travel to it, help set up the store, train the new salespeople, and then move on. And it can be Winston-Salem, it could be Florida, it could be Texas, Oklahoma, Montana, Chattanooga, Nashville.
100%. So it's like, all right, let's hope, like Braxton Miller, he's in Philly right now.
Right.
He's re-signed with them, and I love Philly. It's literally 45 minutes away from me. So I don't need to go to Houston and take that big trip anymore. I'm there in 30, 40 minutes. So it's amazing.
Really, a lot nicer.
A lot nicer. But
who knows, right? I mean, next year you could get traded to Seattle.
Right. Who knows? Like, literally. So Atlanta this weekend, luckily New York Fashion Week's in New York. And then come if freaking Carson, I was going to say if Russell Westbrook's fly to Seattle now to meet with me, I'll fly to Seattle. It really just, I'm on their watch. And, they're my boss, my clients.
Yeah, SeaTac's a great airport, though.
Yeah, so wherever they say I need to be or they need me, I'm there.
Yeah. What's the hardest part of traveling for you?
It's you never know what's going to happen with the schedule you have planned and you have set up. Because when you're in the NFL, and your clients that you're supposed to meet with, or you have campaigns of the brand, you're supposed to shoot an endorsement deal, or you have production set up. You have a head coach and you have a front office, and if they say your practice is going to this hour, that's when it goes to. And if they're not free till 10 o'clock p.m. and you need 4 hours to shoot, it is what it is. and you got to understand that. So, that I would say the toughest part is having people who aren't in the industry, come and travel for events like a photo shoot with a brand, or when there's things that come up that are out of my control or the client's control, because football is their first job, or basketball. That's what comes first, and explaining that to them, and you just never know what could happen. If a player has a terrible game on Sunday, and you have something set up for their off day on Tuesday, things might change, and you can't control it. You just got to shuffle and figure it out.
So it truly is just a never-ending schedule.
Never ending. Especially like I was out there for the Rose Bowl, and if I have free time, that's a problem. My goal is to meet as many individuals and people in the industry as possible and maximize it. I might contact an old colleague in the industry and meet up with them who are in my side of the space, and just make sure every minute you're doing something that you can't do where you live,
right,
and you can only do in that area. And that's it.
Do you ever schedule in downtime?
Yeah. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you block off an hour or 2 hours. Downtime is a broad word. Does that mean like 2 hours a day? Like,
yeah.
I'll block. One of my clients under my favorites, and if I'm on Do Not Disturb during downtime and they call, I'm gonna pick up the phone.
Oh yeah.
You got to do it.
Oh, I didn't say do you take downtime. I said do you schedule downtime, because I know that, but I do the same thing.
My lunch, I block it off for an hour, but at the end of the day,
if something happens.
I mean, you're working 24/7 in this industry.
It's funny. One of my accounts here in California. I was kind of give him grief, but jokingly, and because he always texts me or emails me on Saturday and Sunday, and my office isn't open, so I'm like, I go, dude, I'm gonna reply to you, but I can't reply to you until Monday morning when the corporate office in Denver opens up, because I know I don't want you. You don't have to read my email till Monday. And I'm like, oh no.
So there
are my client
like that in this industry where you're not allowed to take laptops home in the sports industry or things of that nature. Because one of my colleagues is an assistant at a bigger agency, and I was like, what happens on like a Saturday or Friday night at 10 o'clock if there's an emergency, like if they need you, or you can email, like you don't have access to your email. It's kind of weird. But for me, or West Coast times, like right now, there's clients over there who I'm texting and I'm working with, and I'll be up, for a little bit more because I'm on the East Coast and they're West Coast, and I allocate my time around. I learn their schedules and how they operate. It takes time. But Braxton, I've known for 8-9 years. I know how his timing and schedules work in a way. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. My VP of sales actually works. He lives just northeast of Columbus. And,
nice. Where in Columbus? What city?
No, northeast of Columbus. I forget the city. But he knows I'm West Coast. So when it might be 5 or 6 o'clock here, that means it's 8-9 o'clock his time, and he still picks up. He goes, that's just he tells his wife what I got to do.
Right.
He's still on the clock, so.
That's the industry, especially with traveling like you do with clothing. It's West Coast and East Coast, and that's the way it is. If my boss or my bosses or my clients, they're West Coast, they're hitting up at 10 a.m. to get something done. I'm getting it done. Exactly. I just looked. He's in Big Prairie, Ohio. I don't know about the Big Prairie. I know about the Horseshoe, though.
I guess it's a small town of about probably 500-600 people.
I mean, there's so many great small towns there that I'm still learning today where there's clients who come from there. It's awesome.
Well, yeah, my family's from Medina in Brunswick, just south of Cleveland. So.
Ohio's in the building. Cleveland is a state Ohio's a great state.
Yeah, it's thankfully my wife is not a sports fan whatsoever. She's from Michigan.
Ooh, there's nothing really bad with that school up north. They have a great program. The one thing that bothers me is the social media Michigan football account. They tweeted something like, "We get no one has it better than us" recently, and I was like,
yeah,
come on, like, you have great athletes, great student athletes, great program, great university, but timing is everything with social posts.
Well, yeah, and yeah, I mean, for literally for 40 years, my family's been ripping on Michigan. So now I'm married to a Detroiter, and they kind of give me grief. But they know she's not a fan, so.
Yeah, I mean, I support, whatever team my clients are on. So if I have a guy, I'm working with Trey Burke, I'm doing his marketing. He played at Michigan. He's a Michigan legend forever.
Yeah.
I love Michigan basketball. I love, there should be a statue for him in 10 years. He's a Columbus kid, though, which is interesting.
Well, yeah, one of my guests was Dennis Franks on my show, and he was center for Michigan, and then he went on to the Eagles. But I didn't even bring it up. He was a Wolverine. But yeah, it's all good. It's all out of fun.
It's all fun. Hey man, Michigan. If my client played there, or plays there, or I guess I'm Michigan all the way.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what about that?
I'm joking, everyone. I'm joking, but no.
But I see you wear the maize and gold. I'll have to call some people.
No, never. Never. Maybe.
As you get older, how does having a family or relationships play into your traveling and your working?
It's definitely extremely tough. I'll be transparent with you. I'm 27, and work comes first. And like when I was working with Gary, I'll be hoping no one really listens to this. There was a girl I was dating at the time. She's like, Gary, and work or me, what's first? I'm like, right now, this is my priority, my career. So I gotta go there in Ohio and do these things for a client, and I can't go to your birthday in your backyard. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, that's fortunate for me. My wife, I had this job when I met my wife, so there was no. They got to be your biggest supporters. That's it.
And
she knew exactly what she was going to. I mean, I'm gone probably a third of the time. But that's when I'm home, and I'm present.
Absolutely.
But so, do you have any fears of having a family and starting a family with the job you have?
No, because the right person will understand that. They'll get it. Like if they're in the industry, entertainment, sports, they'll get it.
Yeah.
If they eventually want to, that trip to the exotic island, they'll understand, like, this is what they're in for. It's not easy. If they want to go to, this is it. This comes first, what I love doing. But yeah, I have a family. I mean, I have two brothers who are in the concierge and entertainment industry, and, everyone I'm surrounded with is in the industry in some way. My close friends. So those are the people that get in, people that support me, great. And if you don't get positive energy, then I'm not riding with it. That's it.
It's interesting. I'm older than you, obviously, but there's some people that were meant to have traveling jobs, it seems like, and people that were meant to have that 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with them.
Nothing wrong at all.
But they're just different. Like, because a lot of people I talk to around where I live, and they're like, "How do you do it? How can you be gone for 2 weeks at a time, or a week at a time, or like, how can you go to the office every day?"
They don't get it. And that's not, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But traveling is, something comes up, it comes up. I mean, I know Super Bowl weekend this weekend, next weekend is New York Fashion Week. Then before that, it's recruiting from guys at the draft, and
so you got the combine and
then there's so much that goes on in this world of entertainment. But you know what I learned? Like, even if they go to the greatest events and the hottest stuff ever, the ones who don't get it aren't appreciative of it in the long term.
Yeah.
I went to a Philippe Pine fashion show, and I took a guest, and they're on the industry, and that fashion show had to keep, oh my God, it had Braxton sat behind Kylie Jenner, you might be familiar with that family. And he had dinner with them. It was Philippe Line, and it was a movie. Madonna was sitting there, and this is an event where I could have took my older brother, instead I took, a girlfriend at the time, and still didn't appreciate that. Like, you got pictures with every girl from Pretty Little Liars that night.
Right.
Put on Instagram, but a week later you're upset because I'm on the phone at 12:30 with a client.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
That's interesting because I get the exact same thing. I get, oh, that's so cool. You get to hang out with. I work in the Western industry, and so the two-time world champ Hunter Cure. I can call him up and we can talk, and he does things for me. But there's always the trade-off.
There's always a trade-off, and the right person will understand the trade-off, and
I totally agree with that.
To meet that person. But family-wise, like, my little brother's birthday was today and last night. I came back to Jersey to celebrate. And I spent time with him, and family comes before anything. My mom, my brothers, that's it. So, do they get it? My brothers, a little bit, not really. They get it when, like, I'm winning, But then they're all into it,
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it comes down to. But if, I'm losing, or, I get fired, or clients aren't performing well, or they're like, what are you doing in this industry? You don't get it, man. I worked my whole life to get where I am. I want to change this industry. I was sick and tired of seeing athletes who went to Ohio State and where 3 years later we're ordering stuff on clients' Adidas account as gifts. That upset me when they were in the NFL. What were their agents doing? Where were they? Why don't they have football camps? You were a starter in the NFL. You did, like,
you're at the peak, absolute peak of that sport.
And that's the problem. A lot of agents in the industry, well, most of them, they just focus on the contracts around the field, and they don't care about the 20, 30, 100,000 they can make off of it, because at the end of the day, they just want that second contract, which is the nice commission.
Yeah.
So they're not worried about, their
the work.
Yeah, the little stuff.
Well, it's interesting because it's not to the same level, but all the true cowboys, the guys that compete on the rodeo circuit,
right.
they're exactly the same way, like how you're just saying. And I talk to a lot of them, and because it's what they've done their whole life, they don't think of it anything special. And I'm like, I was talking to Hunter, and I'm like, dude, you're a two-time world champ of a real sport.
Right.
Like a real sport. He goes, yeah, but all my friends don't treat me that way. His day-in-day interaction, he's just another guy. He's just, But they not too many people, cowboys, really brand themselves.
Rodeo cowboys? I've actually been to a rodeo. My colleague at Cowboy Lifestyle Network took me. It was the Garden. Did I have to go? No, but I went to network and experience the sport, and I was like, one of these guys could be making money off the animal. It was a bull riding event. One of them could be making,
dude, yeah. I have a friend that was a pro bull rider, and he was the same way. We sponsored him for a little bit, but he would go to events in the clothes, to sign autographs and do all that. In the same clothes, he was just mucking his stalls, so he was like dirty and smelly. I'm like, dude.
If I'm an athlete, like a cowboy or any cowboy NASCAR driver, and I'm doing appearances or anything, the first thing I would do is, if I'm doing an interview, if there's brands I have, I'm going to wear that. If there's a company I'm working with, I'm going to represent that at this radio interview, at this appearance.
Yeah. Well, he would wear it, and it would just be, I'm like, dude, you get clothes for free, literally. Like, we give you as many jeans and shirts and boots as you want, but you wear the clean ones. Keep the interview stuff in a closet. But he tore his knee, and the career, it's over.
Right, and at that point they don't understand that. Oh, there's Instagram, and if I'm actually utilizing this, and I went to that. I'm right now looking at some of the cowboys on Instagram. It's a market, like everything's a market.
Oh, yeah.
It's untapped. It's crazy. There's a bull rider here with 60,000 Instagram followers. He's verified. His name is Shorty Gorham. He's a TV commentator as well. His Instagram, he really needs some social media marketing. I could text him right now, honestly. He has great engagement. It says text and email. But this guy, he could be easily making money from brands or where his audience is from, and
it's very little.
It's
I mean, I'm telling you, it's very, very little. There's about 3 guys that make good money, maybe 4 or 5 that will make equal to more than what they make in earnings for the as a rodeo.
Yeah, so if I'm a cowboy and I love beef jerky, right? I'm gonna find out what where my audience is. Let's say I'm based in Texas or like somewhere in Texas. Let's just use Dallas for an example. And there's a beef jerky, and I grew up there. And there's a beef jerky company based in Dallas, Texas. Even if it's a $5,000 or $8,000 deal, I'm going to tell that cowboy, let's partner up with this brand. You'll sign limited edition beef jerky at the local Hy-Vee, and he'll bring 100 people or 200 people. It'll help the brand move to the front of the shelves. It'll help Hy-Vee because it'll have traffic. And it'll help you, network and connect. There's potential for guys once, their sport careers end.
Well, and it's so interesting because that's basically what I've told Hunter and Ryan Moats and some of that, Patrick and some of the other guys that I know that I've known for 7-8 years now. They don't do it. They just sort of like, hey, I go home, I take care of my cows and take care of my shit, and then I go on the road. And they're on the road 150 to 200 days a year. And when they go to Cheyenne, Wyoming, if they're in Texas, and if they don't place at the rodeo, they don't make any money. There's no guaranteed money.
Right.
So that'd be like telling Braxton, hey, you're going to go play at Houston, Texas this weekend. Or I won't say that. That's a bad team. LA Rams. You got to fly out there to LA, play the game. If you don't win, you don't make any money.
I'd make sure that when he's boarding that plane, he's wearing some clothing that, some brands will sponsor, because it's all about the audience and growing it and putting out content. Coming on podcasts like this, because you never know who might listen to this. One of the Cowboys might be listening to this. The rodeo guys, probably know, and they might out of nowhere. Literally might be like, ooh, I just learned something, and then hit up their friend who has a beef jerky company, you never know who's listening.
That's what I keep telling the guys that I know. I'm like, they're not leveraging what they have now. And in 5 years, because rodeo it's like the NFL. It's a rough business. I've seen it live. It's pretty scary too. you jump off a horse and wrestle a 500-pound cow down to the ground. It's going to hurt after a while.
Yeah, no, it looks scary and it looks dangerous. And who's the number one rodeo guy out there?
He just retired. His name was Trevor Brazil, and he was 9-time, 10-time world champ. He just retired this year in December. 56,000
Instagram followers. He hasn't put good engagement. This guy, I don't know, I haven't done research, but he's 23-time world champ.
Yeah.
I'm curious if he's on LinkedIn. I'm curious if where's he from?
Decatur, Texas, I think.
Email, his bot. I'm going to look at it. This is interesting. He's a brand, though.
Yeah. He's a brand. He's got his own clothing, where he did everything you're talking about. He went to some of the jean companies and shirt companies and got stuff made for him called Relentless. That's his brand. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. But he's it. You got what's the other kid's name? He works for Panhandle. Tuff Cooper. TUF. Cooper. He's a young kid, and he's getting a lot of branding. But his he's making some money.
Oh damn, this guy has a crazy engagement. Oh my God, he puts all the brands he's partners with in his bio, which is awesome. Yep. The one thing that is like, all right, Water Cynthia, great company. that beverage vertical's gone. Are they paying him? We don't know. Is it free product? Maybe. MGM Grand, okay, so all hotels are gone. He's American Hat. I mean, the way he should work with these brands is content versus putting them in his bio. And he's not doing that right. There's no email. It's not a business account either. It's not connected to his Facebook page.
No.
Tough Cooper, man.
And he's literally probably the biggest name in rodeo right now.
That guy's so much potential.
There's a girl named, look up Fallon Taylor. Fallon. I think they're a
real marketing agent. I like this. Fallon
Taylor. Taylor. I think it's with a -2, space 2. I think she had to open a second account or something like that.
How do you
like 30,000 followers on Instagram, something like that. But she does videos almost every day.
Like there's directions in her bio, like that's messed up. Just go there, remove the address in your settings, because those directions are definitely wrong. So, like the email directions.
Oh, okay.
Remove the directions. You're all good. Her content's strong though. I'm curious how she is on Facebook. But she's traveling. Yeah. She can make so much. She can make over $1 million off the ponies. Legit in a year.
Yeah. She's a world champ barrel racer, but she does a lot of sponsorships.
Right. No, I'm saying they put all of them in their bios. A lot of these cowboys.
I just told you 3 people. I couldn't tell you of another one that's prominent on social media.
Interesting.
And there's hundreds.
Damn, so they got to travel. I mean, do they?
They all travel.
What bags do they use? I mean, do they use garment bags?
Nah, usually. Well, no, they travel. It depends. They see, we're getting into the whole thing. They have roughies, and roughies are your bull riders, your bareback, and your bronc riders. And because they don't have their own animals, their own horses, they can just show up. Then you have team roping, steer wrestling, barrel racers. They all have to have their horses, so they have to bring horse trailers. And if they bring horse trailers, they're usually camping horse trailers. So they sleep in their campers with their horses, and then they just go to the next site. But they basically have a full camper that they travel with. And sometimes, like if they go to a rodeo in Hawaii, they'll just fly there and show up, and then come back.
Interesting. Super interesting.
Yeah. It's interesting. I actually, about a year ago, I DM'd Gary, not knowing pretty much you wouldn't get it, but I was like, it's a wide open market.
He might have got it. I mean, Gary checks. Like that's why I got my job with him. He's on Instagram Live. I always check your DMs. And he checks it.
No, I know, but I mean, he's working on the Sasha Group and all the other things now. So I mean,
he's on a new level. He's leveling up every day.
Yeah.
He travels. The way he travels is, he travels like a human being. Plane, and that's it. He's very
traveling's just part of it. I mean, it's just what we do.
Right. I mean, when I travel back in the day when I was like traveling, like doing custom clothing when I was in college and doing all of that, that was you always got to look good and make sure you overpack. I always overpack now.
Yeah.
You got to overpack. You never know how long you might stay an extra day, 2 days. You just never know.
Are you going to go out to a nice dinner, or are you going to go out to a casual dinner? Are you going to? Is it? Because I just got back. I was 8 days in Denver, and we had a sales meeting and a market, a clothing market, and 8 days in Denver. It could be -7. It could be 50. Right.
You don't know the weather, especially. It's crazy. I pack everything now these days, and you know what? Last trip I went on, my luggage was gripped, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. It's all good, and I overpacked for a reason because you literally do not know. It could be a snowstorm. It could be cold. It could be warm. Oh my God! You might have been familiar with a client.
I went and saw my accountant in Hawaii, and my second to last day there, they had the most rain they'd ever had in recorded history. Yeah, 27 inches of rain in one day.
Right. Imagine getting wet socks on your first pair of socks. It sucks. You got to pack so many socks. Overpack socks. Wet sock is the worst. When my socks get wet, I'm upset. I'm depressed. I got to get fresh new socks on. Well, nothing's worse than wet socks.
Let me make that worse for you. Wet cowboy boots.
Luckily, I don't wear them yet. But
I'll get you a pair and get them wet for you. It's like having wet socks times 2.
That's a nightmare.
Your socks are wet and your boots are wet, and the leather keeps the moisture in, so your feet just get cold and wet all at the same time.
What happens if it's pouring in one of the cowboy rodeos or across the country and they don't have that extra cowboy boot?
They do, but then they just get wet, man.
What happens if they end up having to go to a meeting or something pops up, like the biggest CEO of Apple is meeting? You never know.
That wouldn't happen, but then they just show up. And that's what I'm telling you. I mean, most of the guys that we deal with, in our industry, they're not. I mean, Hunter, got his degree from University of Texas, smart guy. Lives in Wichita Falls and has a cattle ranch and makes money on the side with his cattle ranch. But he doesn't think about, now he is. He's coming out with his own DVD on steer wrestling, and I told him I'd rerun our episode and maybe re-record an episode to help him get some press out there. But as far as the social media stuff, they just don't get it. They just don't. Fallon does, Trevor did, Tough. That's about it, man.
I'm excited to jump in there and see who the young, gun coming up is, the next big superstar. So if they do it right and they're on every platform and they're documenting everything when they travel, that's big. I mean, brands don't really care if you're in the NFL or an NBA or NHL or professional cowboy. They care about your content.
Impressions, yeah.
Yeah, look at your profile and say, could this person represent my brand? This is you in basketball, football jerseys. They might not be interested. They care about analytics and the whole 9 yards. So, I could have Braxton, and then I could send over the number 1 player in the world. His Instagram is just football helmets. They won't be interested. They want to see, who else are they besides an athlete?
Yeah.
What are they doing? Where are they? Are they just located in one city? So, analytics and audiences are big.
Well, and forgive me if this offends you. I don't think it will, but when I first looked at your picture, you reminded me of John Bellion.
He's had John
Bellion.
That might be bad if I don't. The rapper?
He's a singer out of New York.
What's his biggest song?
I like Guillotine, Luxury.
Got it.
All Time Low.
Hey, if he is successful, I'll take it as a compliment, sir.
Absolutely, but he's got the beard. And
beard, yeah. I gotta.
His logo is the beard and the mustache.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's his brand. That rocks.
Yeah. But he released 4 albums for free before, and one of his record company said, we should get paid for this next one. He goes, nope. I said I would do 4 for free. I want to get my fans the product. I want them to. He kind of got it, He knew it would be free, but he would get paid on the tour and everything, so it wasn't free. But just his mentality was, let me get my content out there, and get my fan base going, and then I can do what I want to do.
You got to start somewhere, work with brands and do stuff for free first, and show them that you're a real, person, not just looking for the money. That's what they want. They want someone they can work with for 20 years.
That's what I think is interesting. I'm 51, and most of the people my age, business-wise, haven't heard of Gary. They haven't heard of Lewis. They don't podcast, whatever. It's just weird that there's a lot of things that Gary says are completely true, but the old people tend not to get it. So
yeah, but they'll get it eventually if they're on one of the platforms from any of those.
or they'll just retire and not get it.
Right. If somebody doesn't believe in social media or, any business, and they're like my little brother's girlfriend, she told me that, there's a business she used to work for, and the owner doesn't believe in social media. I was like, they're done. Give it a few years. It's not. It's very important. It's what marketing is. Like, TV's cool, but at the end of the day, everyone's on Instagram. Even my mom. Like, she was literally about to buy this hair thing last night because she kept getting these ads, and I'm like, see what it does. Literally, it's a $50 thing. It keeps showing up. Literally, I think she bought it.
I hear you.
They see it 3 or 4 times. They're into it. So, paid media just is huge.
I try and talk to my bosses about it, but there's a competing smaller brand of boot company, and they're doing real heavy social on Facebook and Instagram, and even not so much on Twitter. But I have stores calling me, texting me saying, "Hey, what's up with the XYZ?" I'm like, I know they're hitting it hard right now, but they're getting their name out there.
I mean, it's crazy how if let's say there's an event or Braxton's speaking engagement in Alabama in 7 months, we might do a targeted Facebook ad from his Facebook page, and target the right individual. We'll target people who want to attend, and we'll sell out because we made his Facebook when we were in college together, and it's super powerful.
Yeah.
And then 2, we're going to contact brands there, and I guarantee you if there's a brand that partners with any athlete or client I work with, they're going to get their ROI because at the end of the day, it's what I do, and traveling is a big deal. When I said to any of my athletes or NFL guys, don't walk on that plane and tag a brand, or if you're going to walk on that plane and you're going for an away game and their team is going to tweet a video of you, make sure that brand is paying you that you're wearing.
Yeah.
But it's not easy. It's not everyone knows it, and you can only help so many people at once, and that's the way it should be.
It's a hustle too. I mean, it's just because a lot of the brands, at least in my industry, a lot of the brands don't get it. They don't understand social media, and I think that the fashion brands maybe more so than the more mainstream brands, but I think the offshoot brands, I don't know, man.
They don't in general. However, what I like doing is case studies and saying, all right, let my client do a photo shoot with your fashion brand. We'll get an editorial. You cross market him on Instagram and watch. You'll see the results, and they might not be big or huge or decent enough, or they'll be like, damn, look at the impressions we just got. 500,000 impressions, and we reached, our brand did this. Let's work again. And maybe next time it'll be paid, maybe it won't be. But you got to work. Fashion brands need to work with influencers the right way.
Yeah. No, I agree. Totally agree.
People are going to realize, why am I posting this and not getting paid just because I like it? Why am I wearing it?
And I've explained, it's like Kylie wore an Adidas tracksuit on one of her posts. And Adidas sold out of that tracksuit that same day.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's the top level of influence, but it's, even if you wanted a piece of, you know what I mean? You don't have to be Kylie, but I mean,
I hope that Adidas suit was free. I hope she got paid from Adidas. Maybe she didn't.
Oh, she did, and because that's when Kanye was doing his Yeezys, or still doing his Yeezys.
Yeah.
The static. I just got my first pair.
Oh, I love that
for Christmas.
I love what he's doing with Adidas.
Yeah.
He's genius with it, and Adidas knows how they know how to do their marketing. I mean, Braxton did an Adidas live stream for the high school Friday Night Lights, and it was 4 million viewers live, like on Twitter. Like, what's that worth?
Yeah. Well, I think that's where a lot of the brands have a hard time, is how do they quantify what that's worth? I mean, how many actual sales are they going to get based on that 4 million? There's no way to quantify that.
Right. It's a lot of educating that brand and saying, but Adidas gets it. They know the game.
Yeah. The ones that get it. It's convincing the ones that don't how it can be a benefit.
They're going to fall behind and lose the, brands like big baller brands or the up and comings. maybe charging brands, they're going to fall behind and lose. Nike's back in their game, Under Armour's back in their game. But if I'm not getting a paid ad from your clothing company targeting me, then something's not right.
What is the charging brand?
Charging is a brand that, Braxton started back in college because after he got hurt with his shoulder and he has switched positions, he's been charging since. So it's more of a motivational, inspirational brand. It's anywhere from apparel to accessories to, just to keep going. So he was using the charging, hashtag ever since back in the day. He did the first Instagram meme video after the spin move ever on Instagram, first highlight video for an athlete, NFL player.
That's
awesome. If you go back to his first video, it's like Braxton Miller 92 was his Instagram handle. So he's been charging, but he doesn't promote charging on his personal. He never has. First time he did it recently was when he started, like tonight, he put it in his story because someone bought gear. To your pose he did, but never promoted the brand. Never. We let it grow organically. He did product placement. He did charging events, and he's charging. It's just, it's the next wave. All the big guys should watch out, who knows? But it's great, man. It's just to keep going. Just never give up. That's what
definitely. I can definitely tag it in my bio for our episode. But what's the best way for people to reach you? Is it
DM on Instagram? Realistically,
okay.
Just find Danny I. David, DM me, and I'll answer.
Right.
Like that's the best way. Follow and DM Danny I. David. The other, that Instagram is where it's at, and if you're willing to go on Instagram and DM, the game and how I work or operate, and you're open to doing things that are new and exciting and innovative.
Agree. Totally agree. So, hey man, I know it's late for you, and I truly, truly appreciate the time tonight. And
it's a pleasure, man. Thank you for having me, and hopefully I start traveling better and making sure I overpack and don't my suitcase rip next time.
But that's the interesting thing with traveling. I talk to a lot of the younger sales reps that come out and you end up packing things that you forgot on old trips, and a lot of it's just like anything. As you get older, you go, oh yeah, I remember when I needed that or this or that or whatever, and then all of a sudden, just like for me now, I can pack and I literally won't have but a few extra things that I didn't wear because I know pretty much where I'm going and weather-wise, and so you just kind of figure it out.
Figure it out, and hey, feel good, you look good, and you're comfortable, and you're not stressed about what you're going to wear that night. Or traveling is big for everything, life.
Yeah.
Everything.
So, hey, Matt, like I said, I truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
And
appreciate it.
Hopefully we can stay. If you ever get out to LA and you schedule some free time, I know you don't like to, but
I would say like if I'm not married in the next 3 years, coming to California, living there.
Well, if you come out for any of the sport shows or whatever, and you want to get a lunch or something, just hit me up and we'll go from there.
You got it. I'm excited, man. Thank you for taking the time and having me on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy. Okay, have a great night, man.
You too. Go Bucks.
Thanks, Dan. Go Bucks.